welcome to this YouTube video. And yeah, so I didn't promise this to come up out at 6 o'clock, that's why I'm not as. Yeah, so obviously it's coming out now. That's because I was eating, I've been looking after the dog and that sort of stuff, so I can't really guarantee 6 PM timers, but I can guarantee the days. But yeah, so here we are with the Premier League predictions week after the Championship ones. There's been a few changes to the kind of way we've done this, really, because, you know, we did it like 2 weeks ago and we had a look at it just before we did the Championship ones. And we've had to tweak it a bit since. I think we tweaked it a couple of days ago. You guys might not agree, but that's what I'm thinking. And the tiers I've put it in, that's where I think they'll finish. Obviously, I will give a specific position for each team, but my aim, we will maybe do a review if we do well enough in these. My aim is like it would be a system like 1 point if they're in the right kind of tier, 2 points if they're in between 2 positions within their one off either way, 3 points if it's bang on, obviously no points if I've completely missed the tier and everything. If I miss it by more than 2 tiers, then that is -1 point. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So here you are, you can see the predictions right here. This is what we're going for. Like, you know, yeah, this is what we're thinking. I think there's only one of these teams, 2 of these teams that could possibly move about depending on how their new signings do. That's with Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. I think Aston Villa could probably finish higher if they do well enough, but losing Grealish I think is a massive loss, but it just depends whether Buendia can cover for Grealish, really. So we're going to go bottom to top, starting with the bottom of the league. I'm going to go with Brentford. You might think, oh, that's boring because it's one of the teams that's come up, but as you can see, I haven't put all the teams in the relegation then that come up. I put 2 teams that have been in the Premier League for a couple of seasons. Well, about 3-4 seasons some of these teams have been in, yeah? Even more. But yeah, so Brentford, the reason why I say Brentford, except for Ivan Toney and Rico Henry, for me their squad doesn't seem, it's had a bit of Premier League quality ripped out of it, like Said Benrahma and Ollie Watkins. Those 2 were ripped out of them last season. So I think they'll struggle. I think they'll definitely get relegated. I think, or they'll just survive by the scruff of the neck. And they're saying, oh, our target is to win the league. I think that's Ivan Toney or something. Well, if you don't set them, you'll never achieve it. Brentford are not winning the league. I don't care if it's 5,000 to 1 like Leicester, and they think they can do it like Leicester. Brentford are not Leicester. Brentford are a rubbish tin pot club that have only just come to the Premier League, I'm pretty sure for the first time in their history or something like that. But yeah, with Brentford coming up, I think they'll just finish 20th. I don't think they've got the quality to stay up throughout the squad. They've got a couple of good players, but not throughout the squad for me. In 19th place, this is where Newcastle. This is where I'd probably have my 2 points, because I think these could switch around quite a bit. Brighton and Newcastle. So I think Brighton will finish 19th, or Newcastle will. I'm going to go with Brighton. I think Newcastle will do slightly better because they've got Willock. Obviously with the Willock signing, that's where I think, that's where they're not going to go down. But obviously I've still got that rule in place of whether I get them within 1 place above or below, which will help me, I think, a bit. Or whether in the tier above you get half a point. That's something that's going to probably be put in place. But yeah, moving on to Brighton, we're going to say they're going to finish there. They keep narrowly missing out on relegation. Not narrowly, but they keep missing out on relegation, still being pulled into relegation battles until the kind of end of the season. But, you know, I think they'll get relegated, to be honest. They've had too many times where they've cut it close. They've just lost Ben White. So I just don't think it's going to go very well from the season. I will put them in at 19th. Moving on to 18th is Newcastle United. Although they've just signed Willock, I do think that they're just not going to, you know, they're not going to make it, are they? I just feel like Willock will help them, he'll score goals, but I feel like he'll be a bit of a Grady Diangana for West Brom. He'll score some assists, but it won't be enough to keep him up. keep Newcastle up. I think they'll battle on the last day, to be honest. I think they'll go down on the last day. I think they might hover above the relegation zone all season. Willock and St Maximin, like, holding them there with Almiron, just holding them above there, but then they'll have some trouble coming to the end of the season. I think Willock might even pick up an injury, or Maximin might even pick up an injury himself. Almiron and Maximin are kind of injury prone, to be honest. Both of them I've seen having injuries a lot. Callum Wilson have helped as well, but obviously he's been a bit injury prone for Newcastle. But yeah, moving on to 17th is Wolverhampton Wanderers. So, you might think, you're an Albion fan, that's why you're putting them on 17th. If I was really a biased Albion fan, I would have put them bottom of the league. But, I'm putting them 17th. I think they'll be in a relegation battle, to be honest. Jimenez seems, in the pre-season friendlies, he looked like he's lost his form, to be honest. Yes, he's scored once, but he's been dreadful otherwise. Fabio Silva still hasn't picked up his form. They've got a new manager, they've lost Nuno. I just don't... Yeah. They started to become a bit sloppy towards the end of the season, in my opinion. So I do think they'll finish 17th. They could even swap positions with Newcastle, to be honest, or Brighton. But, you know, I feel like it's definitely a possibility of them going down. Same with Southampton, moving on to them, really. With them losing Danny Ings now, that's another one dangerous from them. They'll be in a relegation battle as well. It'll be very difficult for them to stay up and stay in the league. It will be possible, but they're going to have to graft really, really hard. And maybe even try and put another person in through the transfer window. But if they do stay up, it will be by, like, skin of their teeth. They won't do it comfortably. It'll be 16th into Southampton. So in 15th place, we're going to have Norwich City. Some of you may be thinking, what? Oh, so, like, a lot of people put Norwich City in the relegation zone because they've been relegated before. But, although them losing Buendia, I think they've still got a quite strong squad. I think they should have learnt from last time of coming up what they need to do. And I believe they'll be better than Brentford and Brighton. I definitely think they will, in guaranteed. So I think they will stay up by 15th, probably by about, in the end, by about 46 point gap. Not massive, but they will still stay up. It's kind of like Todd Cantwell, he's still with them, Timu Pukki. They've still got a very decent squad. They've only lost Buendia, which is quite fair play to him, to be honest. On to Watford in 14th, yeah, 14th. So Watford, what can I say? Ismail Sarr, Joao Pedro, Troy Deeney, their squad looks absolutely beast mode. I don't think they'll rip up the Premier League and go and win it, but I think they'll shock a lot of people. I think they won't be dark horses, but, well, they will be dark horses, they will. So Watford will be the dark horses of the season, shocking everyone. Not dark horses for European, but dark horses of, like, your kind of mid-table kind of thing. So obviously that's my team in 14th. I think, yeah, Ismail Sarr, he's brilliant. He absolutely ripped up Liverpool last time they played him. I think he'll do a really good job in the Premier League this season. On to 13th place, we're going to go with Aston Villa. Obviously, I've said with Buendia, obviously losing Grealish, I would have probably put them around 15th, but with Buendia, they should get a solid 13th place finish. I don't think they'll do too bad. I think they might struggle without Grealish, but they should be able to get someone in January, or Buendia should hit form by then. We'll just see whether they can really go at it. Obviously, I'm not saying they won't finish higher. I think they probably could, to be honest, if they do play well enough without Grealish. It's just Grealish going for me. That's going to be a massive blow to their season. On to Crystal Palace, a bit of like a neutral view on the Crystal Palace, because they're not the biggest of teams. You don't talk about them too much. They're a team that's been in the Premier League for a while now. They're not someone that's talked about a lot. They're one of those neutral teams that no one really hates, unless you're a Brighton fan. No one really hates, no one really dislikes them, no one really loves them, no one really has a soft spot for them. But Crystal Palace, they're a decent team. I think they'll get an average 12th place. Zaha still will do well. Benteke seems to be picking up a little bit of form towards the end of the season. So I think they'll do decently. And that's all I really have to say on them, to be honest. In the 11th place, I'm a little bit better, and I think they'll have a very good mid-table finish with their 4-4-2 Brexit-style football play. they do tend to get dragged into a relegation battle all the way at the start of the season. They tend to build out from there. But after January, they tend to be looking like they won't get relegated. But yeah, I think they'll have a solid 11th place finish, and I think they'll be out of the relegation battle by January, and they'll be looking like they should be alright. Moving on to Everton in 10th. They were kind of looking like they may have a chance of pushing for Europe, but with the managers changed, I just don't think they'll be able to push for it again. I think there are teams that will do better than them in the higher positions that I've done. I think there will be teams better than them. Not that they'll do poor, there'll be teams better than them doing something that they're not. On to West Ham in, I believe, 9th place, moving into the top 10. Obviously, we are in the top 10 already, but moving into the top 9 now. So West Ham, without Jesse Lingard, I think they will struggle a little bit. But I don't think they'll get Europe, but I think they will still finish a good high place finish. And yeah, I think they'll do decent just without Jesse Lingard. I think they just about will miss out on Europe, kind of. Not just about, but you know, couple 2 positions off Europe. It's not massive, but yeah, I believe they'll do a decent job. They could maybe get Conference League, but I just don't see them getting any better than Conference League if they're lucky. But yeah, on to Leeds United. They could go for Conference League. I believe they could. They could definitely do it with this Bielsa ball style of play. They could definitely challenge Tottenham this season. I believe they definitely could. They really could. I'm trying to move through this as quick as I can, so I want to get a bit of FIFA. But Leeds United, I think they'll do decent. They could push for Europe, or they could push for Europa League and Conference League. By no way they will push for Champions League. That's something I'm very certain about. But Conference League and the Europa League are definitely open up to Leeds United. So that's my 8th place. Moving into the top 7 now. In 7th place, I've got Tottenham Hotspur. With this Kane situation, whether he's staying, whether he's going, I think if he stays, then yes, they'll definitely get 7th. If they don't, that's where Leeds United or West Ham could challenge for that 7th place spot. But I think they'll maintain a 7th place spot. They might drip into the Champions League if they make good signings, but I think they'll drip straight back out. Obviously, with Arsenal, I think they'll finish above them. So I'm kind of doing combined conversation with places there. I think Arsenal will finish kind of 6th. They'll do better than Tottenham. I think Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka should do well. Although they've done absolutely horrendous in pre-season, I hope that's just a pre-season kind of thing. Otherwise, if it's not a pre-season thing, then I think they will not do well. If this pre-season form carries on, they will not finish in 6th. They will finish a lot lower than that. On to 5th place, we're going to go with Liverpool. I just don't think they've got the qualities to get top to win the league again. They could definitely challenge Man United or Man City for their place, but I just think Chelsea and Leicester have got the upper hand on them. Oh, wait, I need a drink or something, honestly. I've been talking for years. I'm talking for 11 minutes straight. But yeah, moving on. Yeah, I think they could definitely get 4th or 3rd, but I'm going to say they're going to finish 5th. Onto the top 4 of the Champions League spots. Right, now there's a lot of controversy here with Man United. Yes, they've signed Sancho and Varane, but there's a big but here. I don't think they'll win the league. I don't think they'll finish 2nd. They could finish 3rd, just depending on how they treat these players, because they've had big players in the past. Sanchez, Di Maria, Ronaldo. No, don't count, but those 2 players, Di Maria and Sanchez, they were brilliant players at their fault. Well, Di Maria's a brilliant player now, but Sanchez was a brilliant player at Sanchez. They just ruined him. I think they ruined a lot of big money signings. Lukaku as well. There's just so many signings I could probably name just ruined. That's my only worry for me, that they won't get top 3 or top 2 because of that. But I do think they'll finish top 4. They'll get Champions League football again. Moving on to Manchester City in 3rd place. I think they'll battle for maybe... This is where I think it'll be a 3-horse race between Chelsea, Leicester and Man City for the title. I think it should be a very entertaining very entertaining title race for me. I think it'll be kind of a 3-horse race all season. I think Chelsea and Leicester will probably be battling it out on the last day, to be honest. Man City could be battling it out on the last day. It could really all come down to the last day with these top 3 places. I really think it could. You know, with what we've seen in the past with Man City and Man United, I think it could really go down to the wire here. With so much talent, and Chelsea about to sign Lukaku. That's been a rumour. If they do sign Lukaku, that will strengthen their boost to winning in the Premier League again. But yeah, that's kind of my top 3, really. Leicester City, we're going to talk about them a bit because we haven't really talked about them. Farner's out for 6 weeks. That's why I don't think they'll win the league. But I do think they will challenge for the title, but I think they might fall short in the end on the last day or something. But yeah, I think they've got a very strong squad. I think they can do well if they do really press well. Well, not press well, do try the hardest, do what they can. They should be able to get a solid second place finish. So I think we've talked about all the clubs now in this Premier League season. So obviously, just to recap, in 20th, Brentford. Brighton in 19th, Newcastle in 18th, 17th Wolves, Southampton 16th, Norwich 15th, Watford 14th, Villa 13th, 12th Crystal Palace, 11th Burnley, 10th Everton, 9th West Ham, Leeds 8th, Tottenham Hotspur 7th, Arsenal 6th, Liverpool 5th, Man United 4th, Manchester City 3rd, Leicester 2nd, and the champions in 1st place, Chelsea. So, without further ado, I think that's the end of the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one, which will probably be around Wednesday or Thursday for the prediction for the West Brom versus Luton game. And I'll see you then. Bye, guys.